Well, after that exceedingly long and really shouldn't have been that hard puzzle, I'm returning the error human not found. Okay, this is the home of the human secretary that works with Watson on his work on his habitats of the noosphere. There are many different people working with Watson over time. They generally don't last long before requesting a transfer. Honestly, I don't even know the name of the poor sap who works here. Tree sap cannot hold social economic status or names of matter of... No, I don't. I mean the human who works here with Watson. It's a very different person every couple of months. Oh, why is that? Don't know, and honestly I don't want to. Every 2 or 3 months, the person who works here asks for a transfer. And with that, I think that's everything we can do here. Alright. Feels of her bracelet, sends a message to Alan. Where you need to vent, G. Grace's bracelet flashes. Oxygen garden, come over, A. Alright, Alan's in the oxygen garden. Let's go meet him. Sure. Is Alan a romantic friend? What? No! Why would you say that? I'm aware that both female and male humans need to reproduce. Grace flushes. No. Alan and I are just friends. I've known him since I was a child. He's like a big brother to me, similar to you and Alpha. Ah, okay, understand. Yeah, please don't say anything about us reproducing around him. It'd be awkward. Got it. Perhaps something like that has already happened and now choose not to speak of it. They wander into the oxygen garden. So how long did you and Alpha know each other? Easiest calculation for you to interpret it should be 54 years, 7 months, 4 days, 9 hours, 19 minutes, 32, 33, 34 seconds. Wow, that's a long time. Yes, I suppose for a human it would seem like a long time. He's quite the AI. Definitely the most easygoing of the 5 elder AIs. Myself included, he truly had a fondness for humans. I could sense that. He was always willing to help us with whatever we needed. He wanted to work towards a closer-knit society between AIs and humans. However, not everyone is in favour of that. I just hope his wish wasn't the reason for his downfall. I hope for the same thing. Don't worry, Ada. We'll get to the bottom of this. Alright. Alan Asimov. Okay, why? It feels like his character model had like at least 20 less hours worked on it. It looks awful. Okay, Grace and Ada arrived at the oxygen garden where they greeted by Alan. I was my favourite researcher. How are you? Alan and Grace hug. Ada stands out awkwardly. Exhausted, frustrated, drained, the list goes on. Oh, come on, take a seat. I'm just testing a prototype Velociraptor robot. Alan gestures to the bench next to him. Grace lays down on the bench. Feel free to sit as well, Ada. Your body might need to rest. My body does not feel tired. And Alan turns back to Ada. Does a double take. And hello there, I'm Alan. Grace here is bad at introductions. Ada. Ada? Yes, I believe you're the one who assembled this physical body for me? I did. I hope it's treating you well. Only a few mishaps. I thought the rest of the Markov project was suspended. What happened? It's a long story, Alan. Perhaps some other time then, but I expect you to share it with me at some proper point, Grace. Alan sits next to Grace. Ada stands near them and studies the scenery surrounding her. Oh, it feels so good to stop moving. So what's going on, Grace? Why are you all turned upside down? Heard about Alpha? Small station. It's a small space station. News of that order is difficult to miss. Such a tragedy. Well, did you hear the Conclave ordered a team of external investigators to look into his death? Yeah, word got round Novosphere. Lynn was told about them before going on leave, and you know how much she loves to gossip. That she does, and she even tried to set me up with her son. Again. She won't back down until you're no longer single one way or another. Like I have time for that right now. Anyway, Ada and I have decided we weren't going to wait for the investigators to come. Don't tell me you started your own investigation. It's more of a team effort, actually. Grace throws her arms around Ada's shoulders. Right, Ada? That is true. I believe we've not made it this far without one of another. And Grace, this placement of your arm, is this? I assume it's a gesture of camaraderie, yes? You bet your nuts and bolts it is. I'm not sure how I feel about your risky decisions, but I'm glad the two of you are working together. I think all of us humans can learn a lot from watching you two. Thanks, but I won't call us anything special. I disagree. There's a lot of scientists on Novosphere I couldn't see acting the way you two do. Lynn's a great example. Ah, yes, Lynn. I respect her status as a scientist, however I found her views to be somewhat troublesome. I feel a surge in my circuits thinking of what investigation might have been if Grace had fought like her. If that was the case, I probably wouldn't have teamed up with you in the first place. I wonder, salvaging your career would be a major goal of yours. I believe you would still have investigated with or without me. I won't even confirm or deny that statement. Good old Grace, never leave anything alone. Why didn't you tell me about what happened? It's been a long, long day, I'll tell you. I can imagine. Got some time now, just tell me. Well, it started when we broke into Roberta's quarters. Grace, hey, I have to stop myself from being the Conclave's scapegoat. We got our credentials, went to the crime scene, examined Alpha's body. Then we talked to Lynn, who told us to talk to Ivan. Wait, did you actually talk to Ivan? We had to. Wasn't pretty, believe me. Oh, I believe you. Should I inquire about the state of the lab where you two had your conversation? Alan pats Grace's shoulder. Heh, verbal catfight only. No robots harmed. What robots? Oh, no robots, Ada. It was a joke. Aha. Your laughter is improving. Isn't her laugh great, Alan? It's a fantastic laugh. Anyway, went to Evan's lab. It wasn't really much help. Only found a faulty power cord, which turned out to already been accounted for. There was video footage from the lab, but it was compromised. Ada was going to decode it, but the Colossus summoned her. And listened to this, Roberta and Colossus ambushed her and told her to delete the footage. What? Why? They suggested there might be evidence on the footage that may make me look bad. Like what? Well, to be honest, there could have been several occasions where I worked on a project that wasn't necessarily assigned to me. You would find a way to get in trouble for being an overachiever. Shh. But Ada here was looking out for me and deleted it. We could be further along in our investigation if we had it, but I appreciate what she did for me. I did what I felt to do for my friend. Thanks, Ada. Then we met the AI core, got talking to Eastern Goddess, the lovely Eastern Goddess. Can't believe that conversation would have been too pleasant. I don't think it's as bad as it could have been. We're at each other's backs, something that confused her a bit. Eastern Goddess pointed us in Blue's direction. Don't remember Blue being quite so sassy is the word I want to use. Blue is quite the unique individual. She's never been humanity's biggest fan. I gathered that, so it was a lovely exchange. She did tell us to check out Watson's servers because he hadn't been around to do his work. Surprise, surprise. I do hope he hasn't been messing around with any of the biology systems again. I doubt it. Watson's missing as in total MIA, and we find his hidden hard data drive and decryption key is a whole series of encrypted data drives. So now here we are, waiting for Ada's processor to finish decoding it. And who knows what's he left inside of it. It's the only clue we have left. Seems like you've had quite the day, you rebel. We were supposed to wait around for an entire day just for me to be paraded around as the person at fault. I'm the youngest lead on the project. You know I'd be the first to take the fall. I wouldn't have let that happen, Grace. There wouldn't be much you could have been done about it either. Roberta's going to flip when she finds out about your antics. That's the problem. If she actually behaved like a mother ought to, I wouldn't have to take such steps. So what's your thoughts on the situation? I don't know, honestly. It's just been disappointing. Someone or something has to be responsible. Every time we think we have some sort of evidence, it's nothing of substance. Red herring after red herring, dead ends after false trails. No one knows anything. Maybe these data drives will be our answer, but who knows, it's a long shot at best. Have you considered that Alpha's death was an accident? Maybe no one is responsible. Could have truly been nothing more than random chance. Of course I considered that, but it doesn't make any sense. We're so careful. If it was random, then Murphy himself is having a laugh. I've made the same calculations for the purpose to accident ratio, and the odds are the same. Actually, some reason, and someone is responsible for that reason. It is possible it could have been just a horrible accident, Grace. Not everything has a logical explanation behind it. We're not jumping at shadows if that's what you're thinking. But if you're right, then all of our work has been for nothing. Alpha's death would have been for nothing. Might be difficult to accept, but you can't rule it out. I know you might be right, but I wish you weren't. Forces that be certainly won't like the explanation that a multi-trillion-dollar project years in the making failed due to random chance. Without a better explanation, someone is going to be sacrificed to appease their corporate appetites. I'm sorry, kid. I'm 2 years younger than you. Should I start calling you old man? Point taken. It's been a long day and I'm getting impatient. Also, I'd love to sleep. Close your eyes for a bit. There's nothing more you can do at the moment. Alan turns to Ada. Ada, how are you feeling about everything? Feeling? Yeah, feeling. Emotion. Do you have any for what's going on? Ada takes a moment to process Alan's question. I feel sorrow for my dead friend. I feel motivation for uncovering his death. I feel camaraderie towards you and Grace when I see you converse. Reminds me of the conversations that Alpha and I would have. It must be a lot to process. And you're right, I'm not sure if he told you, but Grace and I are pretty good friends. We grew up together. I can sense that, and yes, she also told me. Unlike Alpha and I, you still have one another. It's too bad about Alpha. I met him while working on his body. He seemed like an intelligent and kind AI. Thank you, he was. And thank you for molding his body. It took me some getting used to it first, but now I understand it better. It is fascinating. My pleasure. I'm happy you like it. You know, I was inquired about getting feedback on the bodies, but I never heard back. Well, interesting. Well, you were on the right track. You only had to make it functional, but you chose to make it rather beautiful. You do not mind. I'm going to see about these strange little plants over here. Please excuse me. Ada walks out of earshot and pokes curiously at some flowers. Grace's journal dated. Alright. So, let us check that little velociraptor. Oh, you finally got a prototype working. Sure did. Can't do much other than squawk and walk around, but it's a start. Careful, you don't want these to overrun the station. You got me. That was my master plan all along. First Novosphere, then the world. Alright. Species of a fern extinct on Earth that scientists have recreated on Novosphere. Yes, it's thrilling. We can get them to grow in various environments. They'll be reintroduced to Earth within the year. Can't say if I imagined I noticed the absence of ferns on Earth. Well, once they're back, the planet's one step closer being fixed, give or take a couple of centuries. And a hovering camera drone often found recording video images over Alan's shoulder. The back is almost so mostly painted with a caricature of a robot by Grace, and Alan never removed it. Please watch the camera. Oh, you had it flying a bit low there. Are you filming a movie or something? You know me, Grace. Always got to get those beauty shots. These sphere cameras are a blessing. Alright, so not much in terms of searching the room. I thought the little velociraptor might be better. Grace sits up and looks at Alan. Your silence is practically screaming at me, Grace. Spread it out. Just think about Ada and the whole android body thing. What about it? I don't know. I mean, by working with her, I feel like I've learned a lot about the Markov project, what might come of it. Imagine what it would be when Blue, Watson and the others start walking around too. Can't wait to see that happen. Humans and AIs walking amongst each other and working together. See Ada in that body is a dream come true. Ada's pretty cool, isn't she? Yeah, she really is. It's unexpected, but I think we've become really close friends. I'll probably keep in contact with her even after this whole debacle. Well, the amazing Grace is actually capable of making friends. She's kind of grown on me. Almost like a tick. No, wait, that's just you. That's a terrible analogy. Okay, not like a tick, a limpet. I like Ada a lot. She's got spunk, she's loyal, and strangely enough, she's got a little funny. Spunk is something neither of you like, to be sure. True, I'm actually looking forward to hanging out with her after this stressful murder mystery is solved and done with. Ada, what's the status of the data drive? Are you almost finished? Ada pokes her head out from behind some ferns and approaches. Yes, it's nearly there. I calculate approximately 5 minutes left. Alright, good work. Guess we should probably head to the conclave and either admit defeat or let them know what we found. The doors to the auction garden open and the investigators burst in. I'm sorry, you can't just come in here, you need to... Grace Fortran? Yes, who are you? The investigation surveys Ada. I'm assuming Ada? AI in physical form? Yes. Excuse me, what can we help you with? You need to come with us. Now. Just wait a minute. So this doesn't concern you. Stand aside. It's Dr. Asimov, and this matter does concern me. Dr. Asimov is always considered a person of interest in case number 190111. However, we ask that you remain here until ready to interview at a later time. I got the impression you're not really worth asking. No, Dr. Asimov, we're not. Investigators then advance towards them. So, okay, Alan. I'm not going anywhere until you show me your credentials. Grace's bracelet flashes. Ding, ding, ding. Check your bracelet. With a team of external investigators, we're summoned to look into the demise of first subject of the Markov project. Understand you compromised our crime scene. We've been interrogating suspects without approval. You need to come to the conclave with us now. To determine the appropriate punishment for your misconduct and the length of which you contaminated the scene. Grace looks at Ada for approval. Ada nods. Let us proceed. Grace and Ada walk through the investigators. We're going there anyway, so just so you know. We exit with the investigators following us. So we didn't even really get to talk to our friend there. Do you think, considering he was on the project, he might actually have some leads or something? But no, he's kind of skipped past him. Alright. Grace. Yep. I recommend we stall for time. I've almost finished the decryption. I'll do my best. Alright, Man in the Machine, Chapter 5. Hopefully the last chapter. Stay here, we'll brief the conclave. Investigators walk through the metal doors leading to the conclave chamber. Can't help but get a bad feeling about this. How so, Grace? Our investigation has been nothing short of exhaustive. That's the thing, though. We've gone pretty much every possibility, tried out every lead. We don't have anything, just details on how Alpha's shorted out. Grace, we have the data drives. It's something but if it isn't anything of importance, then the investigation should be considered a failure. I am confident that Alpha perished with the drive in his hand. They must be incredibly important. I believe our efforts will also bear fruit, Grace. Thanks, Ada. I'm glad that you decided to help me with this. Meaning in the future, I couldn't have asked for a better partner in this endeavour. Now, I will say that it has been mentioned in the reviews there's multiple endings. I'm only going to be interested in getting the good one, because you'd have to go through all the chats and just be nasty to her the whole time, which there's absolutely no motive to do. To have which I suspect is throw you under the bus and you get kicked off the ark and maybe even get imprisoned. But Grace, understand me when I say our objectives are one and the same, no matter how different our stakes are. I know I do. We both have something to lose. Even though those things are different, I think that puts us in a pretty similar situation. Oh, so pretty similar position. When you say it like that, I incline to agree. I will say though, you seem to be uneasy, but if there is something I can do to help you calm yourself, let me know. This is something that friends do. Thanks, I appreciate it, but I don't think there's anything else you could do. It's one thing to know that investigators are coming to put the screws on me, but it's entirely different. It's entirely. It's another thing entirely to stand in the lobby and wait for the screws. However, it's like waiting at the dentist's office. I do not recognise this analogy. Maybe it's because you've got those shiny steel teeth. The doors to the conclave open. Oh, here we go. They're ready for you, Grace. Oh, and one more thing. Please don't get snappy with them. They're already suspicious of you, so you don't need to make things harder for yourself. I'll be watching from outside with the rest of the conclave. I'll be delivering their decision on the matter. This is it, Grace. Here goes nothing. Director, Chief of Conclaves, and all of us present today will be forming the beginner investigations of this incident. Aware of undue termination of AI due to a malfunction in its physical body. The successful failure of the Markov project is something of very keen interest in mankind's future. As such, we're taking our investigation extremely seriously. Alpha was not an it, he was a Ada unit. We asked you from refraining from interrupting this questioning session. Dr. Fortin and yourself have disrupted our investigation quite enough. Understood. Now, Dr. Fortin, are you stand ready to undergo questioning? Do you swear that information you provided is true and accurate? Hey, don't talk to Ada like that. She was a big help. I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did without her. My apologies. Perhaps I can treat your accomplice in crime with more respect. She just wants to find out why her friend died, alright? Not that you cared or anything. Just leave her out of it. Thank you, Grace. We're not here to make friends or avoid offending machines, Dr. Fortran. We're here on serious business. Now answer my previous question. Grace, please. Do not worry about me. Alright, I swear what I tell you is the truth. Thank you. Now on to the pressing issue. It's my understanding you carried your own investigation out in this manner. I did. You're fully aware the consequence of disrupting an investigation is important with your meddling. Tell the truth. Continue to stall. Oh, we were asked to stall for time. Actually, no. Could you kindly fill me in? Fingerprints all over the incident scene, tampering with vital evidence. The list goes on. But how is a diligent team investigator can just ignore my prints, right? Can't you tell how old they are? I mean, this is the 21st century. Be careful what you say, Grace. I detect these three are not amused. Thank you for your observation, Ada Unit. Do not know how long you've set us back for, Dr. Fortune, but you have set us back. Terribly sorry to hear that. I can tell. That concludes preliminary initial questioning. Now it's time for important questions. What? During the course of your completely unsanctioned investigation, did you actually manage to dig up anything useful? Alright, do I just keep on stalling? I'm going to fill him in. I'm going to be honest, it wasn't exactly a lot me and Ada could find out in around 18 hours. I figured as much. But we were able to find out a few things about Alpha's death. These details of Alpha Unit's termination are: he shorted out, something that caused his neural network to draw almost double the requisite power. It must have happened during his maintenance. Is there anything unusual about his maintenance cycle? Sorry, Ada stops Grace. It's fine. Ada turns to face the investigators. No, as far as we know, his maintenance was optimal. Interesting, was there anything else? We found his data drive, Alpha's person. It could be finished decoding right now, Alpha. Yes, I finished it a few minutes ago, yes. There wasn't any time to waste. Give us this drive immediately. Grace hands the lead investigator Alpha's thumb drive. Let's see here. Okay, entry 001. I'm a real boy now. I'm Alpha and everyone loves me. Okay, hello world. Who am I to say hello to? I don't know yet. This is so exciting. I found old Earth archives suggest humans used to keep these things called journals where they chronicled their daily activities. I don't know what these journals do, but I can't wait to find out. Today I'm going to experiment using DNA banks to clone Silverain tigers and see how these creatures hunt. The Colossus really forbade as it's apparently a major threat to human life on Novasphere. So instead of doing the interesting thing and cloning the tigers, I did the less interesting thing and eavesdropped on a meeting with that young scientist Alan Asimov. He has orchestrated a process of engineering androids that was AIs can manipulate in order to assist in projects with physical interaction. Of course, Ada and Alpha were the two AIs selected for the initial tests. Those two get all the attention. What do? Nothing. That's what. Poor old Watson just gets ignored. I remain optimistic though. One of these days I'll get a body of my own and just think of the experiments I could perform. Journal number 2. Watson's World. It's alive! He covers. Okay. Journal number entry 2. Should I say it that way? We call it a work in progress. Maybe I should calling something cool and memorable like Watson's Word. Or what's that? Oh yeah, it's Watson's Word, not Watson's World. Oh goodness me. What's that? Watson that? Anyway, remember how Colossus forbade me from cloning Siberian tigers? Well, I figured out if a creature that big is considered a threat, no one would mind if I picked something smaller. Took the initiative and cloned approximately 80,000 insects called mosquitoes and examined their feeding rituals as I released them into the laboratory. You never believe what happened next. The human scientists proceeded to whack and crush all my hard work. You'd think creatures made of flesh like humans would have more consideration for creatures so small and helpless. Then after that, Colossus had the nerve to ban me from cloning machine. There was no words to describe this betrayal. Now I'm upset. Time to go jump to Blue System. Maybe I can blow off some steam, readjusting all the settings. Alright, now we're up to entry 11. Here's another entry of Watson while you're on the Johnson. That's human slang for the toilet, a mysterious device where humans go to delete old data from their bodies. To be honest, I don't quite understand this purpose. I've been chastised several times for invading personal space while humans use it. I've learned some questions do not have answers. As you may be aware, my access to cloning facilities have been restricted, holding my experiments and research. I firmly stand by my stance as unfair and cruel. However, I found something else to experiment with. In the Earth archives, I found chicken. This feathery creature used to be a major food source for humans. Make no sense to me. Why didn't you just clone the tissue cells for meat instead of raising the entire creature? It would have been so much faster. Humans are bizarre. That isn't the exciting part though. The exciting part is I found a backdoor to the whole no cloning issue. I designed a simple program to run basic mannerisms of the chicken and upload this to the Android designed for Ada. No tests have been performed with the bodies yet, but my program had the bodies pecking the ground, flapping their arms like wings, and occasionally releasing a noise that can be described as "Bagag!" Needless to say, the scientists involved were baffled. One of the scientists, fresh-faced named Grace Fortran, had the nerves to call my program a virus. That's a harsh word. I would describe it. It was an instinct, non-threatening breach of security. I'm sure it won't take them more than a week to remove it. Okay, entry 100. I've come with fantastic news. My last experiment with the chicken program led me to a new discovery. It realized the test with the android for Ada and Alpha. My excitement tingles throughout my system as I write this. I cannot wait to put my plans into action. My limited access to Noosphere's systems is hampering my ability to research and expand. Today, Alpha is scheduled to enter his android body and test its limits. If I can enter the body instead, or even go with him and override his control, just think of the experiments I could perform. Oh yeah, I thought this might be the case. Just with the chicken program, I should be able to upload myself at any point where the body accesses the system, and maybe they check in for maintenance, I sneak in and override his control. The more I think about this idea, the more I fall in love with it. No more will Watson be bound by the limits of cyberspace, or walk amongst man and the pinnacle of AI society. They will praise my brilliance and kneel before my bionic feet, shouting declarations of admiration. They will call this day Watson throw celebrations for centuries to come. There may be some time between this entry and my next to adapt my new position as the leader of humans. I need to build myself a backup in case something goes wrong. So next time, goodbye world. It's Watson signing off. Yeah, I thought this might be a case when Watson was missing. I thought he may have... And that would explain why it needed double power. It was trying to run double the AIs. Watson? It was Watson the entire time? Yeah, I pretty much figured it was Watson the entire time. That explains a lot, like why he was absent. I don't know what to say. This is quite unprecedented. But why would he do this? He said he wanted a body, but he knew he would be getting one, but once his turn came up. Is this the first sign of his deviation? I will answer that. Director Heroes, you were instructed to wait outside. You're on my spaceship as a courtesy, detective. Do not give me instructions. Besides, we've made our judgment. Watson Unit has a history of putting his responsibilities in second place to his curiosities. This isn't the first time he's gone missing, but he always performs his tasks on time. Director, this is troubling news for us. I suppose it was those who not worked alongside AIs for years. Given the current events, Conclave is deemed that humans and AIs consist in an equal society. We acknowledge that the life of an AI is just as valuable as a human and deserve the same recognition for their work. The situation with Alpha and Watson has proven to the Conclave that AIs are our equals, were these not the actions of machines cool and rational, but rather emotional living beings. Observations of Dr. Fortran and Ada worked together on this also informed our opinion. Though their investigation was unwarranted, Grace and Ada worked together to gather evidence that was crucial to the initial crime. And the Markov Project? The project will continue. AIs and humans will continue to work together. AIs will be given more android bodies and same rights as humans. You're not off the hook, Ada, but your service and determination your service and determination for your fallen friend has not gone unnoticed. Your dedication to resonate with the Conclave, and we appreciate all that you've done. Dr. Hirose, thank you very much. It's a giant step for us AIs. Yes, very well. We believe our AIs as our equals, our society is capable of many great things. Very well. Dr. Fortran, Ada, you're dismissed. It seems the investigation solved itself. What about the ladies who helped solve it? You can't provide a potential investigation scene, tamper with evidence, however you provided the means to solve the investigation. I rule that the balance out to an absolute 0. But be thankful we continue to investigate in case something else comes up, but for the most part this investigation is over. Thank you, Detective. Officers, Grace and Ada. Now it's time to discuss your reprimanding. Sounds like you're going to get off a little easier than I hoped. So sorry to disappoint you, but I wish I could say it's been a pleasure, but I'd rather not lie. Besides, you don't know my mother. Yeah, I'm imagining if you're nasty to Ada through the whole thing of that, she either A, doesn't decode it in time, B, it's seen as Watson being a deviant, and obviously they can't be trusted, and the project's going to get shut down instead. Okay. Alright, your work on the Alpha case has been great help, both of you, but I gave you very specific instructions that you disobeyed. You honestly think I was just going to sit in my lab and do nothing? No, but to mess with the scene, do you know how much trouble you two could have been? Thought it was worth the risk. Sorry to disappoint you, Director. Okay, I'm just glad this is over. I was worried, really I was. What happens now? Just relax. Enjoy the rest of your day. The project's going to be on pause anyway, so they continue to close up the investigation. I have a lot of forms to sign. At least, whatever you do, don't try try not to do anything that Conclave will hear about. At least for a day or two, I need a break. Guess we have our answer. Still can't believe it was Watson. I thought I knew him. Happens to all of us, Ada. Watson was always a wild card. There's no way to know that he would do what he did. On the bright side, we're finally equals. It means we can work together more often. Finally equals? Oh dear. Did you just make a joke? Have you come so far? You rubbed off on me quite a bit. I did not realise that this outcome of our education, I must admit, some sort of gratifying emotion about it all. Hope, excitement, just happiness in general. Yes, I think all of those. To think I played a part in changing the future between humans and AI satisfies me before. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that the people of the space station, they had final say whether this project keeps going? And had this much power on AI recognition? Bull crap. I would not have been able to do this without you, Grace. And I would not be able to do it without you. We did this together. It feels a bit rushed, this ending, if I'm honest. Well, after this crazy day, I need to relax a little. I think I'm going to go hang out with Alan. Come with me? Hang out? No, not literally hanging out, but enjoying each other's company. I won't subject you to ruin your new body so quickly. Ah. Hey, that laugh was excellent. You're making jokes and laughing now. Who would have thought? Thank you. I have a great teacher. May I suggest we find something more normal to do? And what? Be more boring normal people? I'm kidding. That sounds great. I know. Grace's journal's updated. There's the ending. Is no one worried that Watson is all... I mean, he did say he made a copy of himself just in case, so it could be he's got a copy of himself in the safe. Or Watson fried himself, because no one seems to care Watson's potentially destroyed himself, which is a bit unusual. But this wasn't so bad. I wouldn't call it an amazing one. I couldn't even call it technically a visual novel because there is really no input to the story you can do. You can change a few lines by succeeding or failing at the puzzles. So it's a kinetic novel with puzzles. It's a relatively interesting story that meanders a bit and sadly peters out. I mean, it starts initially quite interesting where there's something fishy going on, but it doesn't explain why Alpha had that drive and the journal. Or if... Wait, or was the journal on the desk? I mean, what was the drive... I mean, it was a bit confusing because it was sort of suggested you delete the stuff on the drive. I know she deleted the footage. So, yeah, there was a few bits of, well, ambiguity. And you just feel bad for Alpha, really. I'd be just like, once Watson started screwing with stuff, I mean, it just feels like the AIs were too eccentric, or how to describe it? Going rogue, even. You'd think, like, Watson, is he shown he's not exactly... Oh, epilogue thing. Deep inside one of Noosphere's servers. Hello, world. I'm back. There we go. Just in case he wanted to do a follow-up with Watson causing chaos, we have the database here. Is there a picture of Watson? Just a mosquito. Yep, there we go. Oh. So there's a few interesting things here and there. It was a fun playthrough, and thank you for joining me through this.